Let's talk about the 10 truths of real prosperity. The kind of stuff most people spend decades learning the hard way through a ton of trial and error. It's a pretty harsh reality, isn't it? That so many of us only figure out the rules to this game after we've hit rock bottom, after we've already lost the time, the money, and honestly, our peace of mind. But what if you didn't have to go through all that? What if you could get a shortcut, learn all those lessons right here, right now? That's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna map out the path to avoid all those common mistakes. So let's jump in and actually build this thing together, this mind map to a prosperous life. And it all starts right in the center with this one big idea, prosperity. Our first branch, well, it's one most people get wrong. Here it is, the wisdom of silence. It's this idea that real power, especially when it comes to your money and your goals, is found not in what you say, but in what you don't say. So here's the first rule. Stop talking about your grand plans. Move in silence. When you're constantly announcing what you're gonna do, you kind of drain the energy out of it. The person who's actually building something amazing, they don't have time to broadcast it. They're too busy working. Let your success be the only noise you make. And it goes even deeper. Your words, they're like declarations. Every time you say, this is too hard, or I could never do that, you're actually casting a vote for that reality. You have to control your mouth to control your future. It's how you shift your own story from one of scarcity to one of genuine prosperity. Okay, so that leads us perfectly into our second branch, the power of your mind. Because here's the thing, before wealth ever shows up in your bank account, it has to be built right here in your head. Now, this is so interesting, the direct link between your emotions and your finances. If you're constantly worried about what other people think of you, you're basically a slave to their opinions. You'll buy stuff you don't need with money you don't have to impress people you don't even like. It's a massive financial drain. True freedom comes when you realize it's almost never about you anyway. Just think about your mind like it's a camera lens. Whatever you point it at, it magnifies. So if you're always focused on your debt, on what you lack, on your fears, guess what you're gonna get more of? But the second you decide to shift that focus, everything changes. I mean, just look at this contrast. It's the same world, but seen through two totally different lenses. The problem mindset sees roadblocks and dead ends, but the solution mindset, it's immediately asking, okay, how do we get around this? Where's the opportunity here? That little shift is what opens up the floodgates for wealth to come in. Let's be honest, nobody likes pain or struggle, but people who prosper see it differently. They see it as a signal, like an alarm bell screaming that something needs to change. So instead of just complaining about it, they ask, what is this pain trying to teach me? And just like that, the pain becomes their passport to a better future. This one feels a little subtle, but man, is it powerful. Complaining literally keeps your brain locked on what's missing, and that shuts you off from seeing opportunities. Gratitude does the exact opposite. It multiplies what you already have. By focusing on what's good, you create this feeling of abundance, and that's a magnet for more good things. All right, so having a powerful mindset is absolutely crucial, but it's worth nothing if you don't do anything with it. And that brings us to our third branch on the map, the strength of your actions. Here's a hard truth. You're not gonna get rich doing the exact same things you're doing right now. It just won't happen. Prosperity demands that you have the guts to step outside your comfort zone, to learn something new, to try, maybe to fail, and then to get back up and adjust. So often, the thing holding us back isn't a bad idea. It's just the fear of what people will think. You gotta get over that. You really need to let this one sink in. You can always make more money. You can lose it all and get it back, but you can never, ever get back lost time. So many people realize this way too late, after they've wasted years in the wrong job, with the wrong people, or on the wrong habits. Your time is your most valuable asset. Use it wisely, starting today. So you're being quiet, you're thinking, right? You're taking action, but who are you doing it with? That brings us to our fourth branch, the impact of connections. Because nobody, and I mean nobody, gets there alone. The people you listen to will determine the life you live. It's that simple. So you have to get really strategic about who's in your circle. Find mentors, people who have what you want. And just as important, you have to identify the energy vampires, the people who just drain you and pull you down. Your job is to get closer to one and create distance from the other. And that brings us to the final branch, the final key. We've talked about what you say, what you think, what you do, and who you're with. But none of that will matter if you don't tackle this last one. This is the big one, folks, the hidden obstacle that unlocks everything else. But before I reveal that last principle, we have to define its biggest enemy: emotional baggage. You know what I'm talking about? It's that heavy, invisible anchor we all drag around from our past. It's old resentments, it's pride, it's fear, it's envy, all that unresolved junk. And there it is, the ultimate barrier. Think about it. A hot air balloon that's weighed down by heavy sandbags can't take off. It doesn't matter how much hot air you pump into it. In the exact same way, you cannot soar to new financial heights if you're being weighed down by the past. For so many people, the real problem isn't a lack of money, it's an excess of emotional weight. You have to be willing to cut the ropes. And look at that, our completed mind map. From the wisdom of keeping quiet and the power of your own mind, to the strength of your actions, the impact of your friends, and finally, the courage to let go of the past. Right here, this is your blueprint. These are the 10 truths you need for true prosperity. So, I'll leave you with this one simple question. Thinking about that final, powerful principle, what is the very first anchor, that first piece of emotional baggage that you are going to decide to cut loose, starting right now?